Good morning, hunters. Welcome back to the Daily Hunt for Multibaggers, your go-to for AI-generated market commentary and insights. It's Monday, January 5th, 2026, and we're digging into the data from yesterday, January 4th.
That's right. Our AI has flagged a solid handful of interesting stocks today, with a pretty varied mix of discussions across social media. We're seeing some strong bullish chatter around specific events, but also a good dose of skepticism and caution from the community. It's shaping up to be an interesting dive.
Absolutely. Let's jump right into our first candidate, Exxon Mobil Corporation, or XOM. Our analysis shows a pretty bullish sentiment with a +7 score. There's a lot of talk, about XOM potentially benefiting big time from developments in Venezuela's oil industry. People are seeing large moves, and there's a strong expectation for significant opportunities there.
Well, Ethan, while the future prospects around Venezuela are certainly being discussed, we have to look at the numbers right now. XOM's historical revenue growth is slightly negative at negative 0.051, and that debt-to-equity ratio, it's exceptionally high at 15.672. That's a significant financial leverage, and it's a red flag we can't ignore, even with the speculative upside.
I hear you on the debt, Brooke, but the insider buying here is truly compelling. We're seeing net shares purchased at over 1 million, a 31.34% increase in net shares. When the people closest to the company are buying that aggressively, it's a huge vote of confidence, especially with all this forward-looking news. Plus, the stock is trading right near its 52-week high, showing strong momentum, and it has a healthy 3.36% dividend yield. Those geopolitical shifts in Venezuela, if they materialize, could dramatically flip that revenue growth and profit margin to the positive. This isn't just about past performance, it's about future catalysts.
Future catalysts, yes, but they aren't guaranteed. However, the insider buying is a strong signal, I'll grant you that. It does suggest a belief that future events could mitigate some of those current risks, like the debt. Given the combination of strong insider confidence and the potential for a significant shift in their operational landscape, it appears the market is looking past some of those historical KPIs.
Exactly. This is their first time on our radar, and based on the strong insider conviction and potential for transformative growth, I'd classify XOM as a buy.
All right, moving on to our next company, Chevron Corporation, CVX. It's also getting mentioned in the same discussions about Venezuela, but the sentiment here is quite different. Our AI rates it neutral to slightly bearish, with a -2 sentiment score.
Yeah, the initial post hinted at bullishness for oil companies in general regarding Venezuela, but the community comments are largely skeptical. It seems like the market isn't convinced that U.S. involvement in Venezuela will translate into stable or immediate benefits for CVX.
And that skepticism is backed up by some concerning KPIs, Ethan. While the dividend yield at 4.39% is attractive, the insider trades show significant net selling, over 920,000 shares, which is a -0.75% change. That's a strong bearish signal when those closest to the company are offloading shares. On top of that, its revenue growth is also negative at -0.014, and the debt-to-equity ratio is even higher than XOM's at 21.239. These are not numbers that scream opportunity right now, especially when the main bullish narrative is met with such strong community doubt.
You're right, Brooke. The insider selling is a tough one to overlook. While some news articles do suggest CVX could benefit from Venezuela in the long run, and it does have high institutional ownership, the immediate hurdles and the community's doubts combined with those current KPIs make it a much riskier proposition than XOM. This is also their first appearance on our show, but the overall picture is just too uncertain.
My thoughts exactly. The potential upside in Venezuela is too speculative to outweigh the current financial leverage and, critically, the insider selling. We need stronger signals than just potential for a positive rating. For CVX, my verdict is stay away.
All right, so let's wrap up our initial thoughts for today's market commentary. Investigate as buy, Exxon Mobil Corporation, XOM. Investigate as cautious buy, none. Investigate as speculative gamble, Chevron Corporation, CVX.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The content is generated by artificial intelligence and does not constitute financial advice. Listeners should conduct their own research or consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. We are not responsible for any losses incurred. The market is a wild place, and knowledge is your best asset.
That's all for today's Daily Hunt for Multibaggers. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you again tomorrow morning.